Welcome to another episode of Let There Be Talk. Today is November 1st. It is rent day. I love all you guys for joining me today. This podcast is brought to you by my podcast network, cactusradionetwork.com, where you can find all of my podcasts for absolutely free. At Home with Byron Katie, The Grail, Dark Fonzie, and Let There Be Talk, all at one spot, cactusradionetwork.com. Okay, let's get into it. Episode 616 today. Can you believe it? I just got home from Las Vegas. Wow, what a run. 14 shows out there in Vegas. A lot of great things happened. A lot of the material starting to come together, feeling good again. It's probably the first time in a while where I feel back to kind of normal since the lockdown, because I got to do 14 shows, 2 a night, nonstop, and really starting to feel myself again on the Dust Off the Rust tour, which, by the way, more tour dates are up there right now, DeanDaleRay.com. This weekend, Friday, I'll be in Reno with Bill Burr, and Saturday and Sunday in San Jose with Bill Burr. So if you're going to those shows, get there early. I am on the show. And then I'm off to Bend, Oregon, November 11th for Comedy and a Cause on Veterans Day. Do not miss this at the Volcanic Theater. Got that right. And then the next night in Portland, November 12th at the Bossa Nova Ballroom. Tour dates are on DeanDaleRay.com and brand new merch. We have the Grail shirt finally available. Get your shirts, your Gertie hoodies, your Perry shawl, Dean Del Rey shirt, the Dark Fonzie stuff. It's all up on the website. And thank you for your love and support. Today's guest, holy smokes, pure burning guitar, brought to you by my man, John 5. This is the second time he has been on, so if you are confused, like how come you didn't get into his history, it's because he was on about 4 years ago. So press pause and go back and listen to that one first if you want, or just enjoy this one. We sit down and talk about his brand new solo album that came out Friday, Sinner, and it is on Big Machine Records, produced by Barry Pointer. Very, very kick-ass. Done right in Los Angeles at the Riott House Studios. Old school, in a studio. A lot of cool guests on this record. Dave Mustaine on Que Pasa? Dave Mustaine lending his vocal skills there. And the legend Peter Criss is on there playing drums on Georgia on My Mind. This record is a burner. It's got all kinds of great different flavors. I really, really like a lot of this record, man. I put it on, I was like, wow, there's some great shit on here. There's some thrash, there's some funk, there's some lunacy. I love it all. He even does a cover of Queen's crazy little thing called Love. Get it right away on iTunes and wherever you buy music. Get it on vinyl. I'm sure it's on vinyl. It's got excellent artwork that I saw. Amazing. It was great to talk to John. I love John. We could talk for hours. John's the type of guy, he'll come over, we'll talk for hours, and I'll never see him for like a couple years again. I'm like, fuck, where's John 5, man? I'd like to talk some rock. Great guitar collection, great human, and great episode. Thank you guys for all digging it. Don't forget to subscribe to my podcast on iTunes and check it out on YouTube. This episode is brought to you by my killer eyewear sponsor, Optical Connection, right in Los Angeles, California. They ship anywhere. Use the code DEAN and you will get a great discount, or call them up, ask for Armin, and use my name, drop my name, get a discount. They got Jacques-Marie Mage and Blake Kuwahara and Dita, all the great brands I love. So check it out, optical-connection.com. Follow them on Instagram also, and get yourself some badass eyewear. Nothing worse than bad eyewear. A lot of people just do not understand how to pick a right frame for their face. You ever see the person with the frame that's just too small on their face? Oh man, it makes me crazy. It's like, why didn't the person tell you those are too small? It's crazy. There's nothing worse than a too small pair of frames on a head and come walking down the street. You're like, those are wrong. Anyway, just my little rant there. Optical-connection.com. Get a discount. I hope you guys had a great Halloween. I had a great time out there in Vegas, and I talk all about it on Patreon bonus episode on my patreon.com/Dean Del Rey. I talk about seeing Sting. I talk about driving the brand new Porsche 992 GT3 out on the track, and some other great stuff. So that's out there on Patreon, and you can also join me every week for a Zoom Fest. I hope you guys are good, and I hope to see you at the shows. I've been seeing some Del Raisers out at the show. Thank you, guys. Keep the candles lit. Let's get into it right now with Mr. John 5. Oh, shit. Look who's back. John 5 has returned to the podcast. I think it's been about 4 years.
Yeah, I think so. It's been about 4 years, according to my no watch on my wrist.
Yeah. You don't go watch, huh?
No, my wrists, I have these, like, girl wrists.
Yeah.
So they're very skinny.
Yeah, they are. Look at that.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's like a finger.
Yeah, Finger Wrist. Great band name.
Yeah.
Finger Wrist.
Finger wrist. Here they are on Sony.
Yeah, man, I'm a watch guy, but when I played rock, I wasn't. That was one of the rules of rock, no watch.
Yeah, no watch.
You know, you see a guy up on stage with a watch, you're like, next.
Yeah, it's like, that would be a good, like, back of a tour T-shirt with, like, a Rolex or something with a line through it.
Yeah, no watch rock.
No watch rock.
Yeah, I was talking to Nikki Sixx about the rules of rock. Yeah, like he had one, no curly hair, and I used to call that poodle rock, no poodle rock.
Yeah.
And there was that rules of rock, like, don't have a truck. Because everybody's going to be like, dude, we got to use your truck to move the gear.
Yeah.
You know?
The only person that can really rock a watch when playing and does it better than anybody is Yngwie. He wears like 2 or something.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I don't mind it now. Like, Steven Tyler wears the Cheetah Rolex Daytona, which is the one that's like made for like rich old grannies.
Right.
And it's fucking cool as shit, man. When I see him wear it, I go, oh, I'd rock Cheetah Rolex, you know?
Right.
So
my wife, has a Submariner.
Oh, yeah, great.
And, but it's like a man's watch.
Oh, I love a woman with a man's watch.
Yeah, but, I just can't rock it. I don't know, because it's just not me.
Yeah. You know, I used to DJ at clubs, and what's her name? God, I always draw a blank on her name. She was in the Charlie's Angels, the new one.
Farrah Fawcett?
Yeah, Farrah Fawcett came rolling up. The ghost of Farrah. No, but the newer one with
Kate Jackson.
Yeah, Kate Jackson. Cameron Diaz, that's who it was.
Cameron Diaz.
So I was spinning at this Shrek party, and she rolled up, and she was wearing a Rolex Daytona. It looked so dope. I love a woman with a big watch. It's just the confidence out of that is badass. Yeah. And they have flavor. Right away, you know that woman's got flavor.
Oh, yeah. It's cool. It's a great look. I always thought women in like that, like a suit and tie, like a man's suit, always looked really cool too.
Oh yeah, Madonna rocked that back in the day. She looked cool as shit.
Really
cool. I love fashion. So do you. Look how you come over. You're wearing like a Clippers jersey, a fur jacket.
Yeah, sweatpants.
Yeah, sweatpants.
And Louis Vuitton sandals.
I love those Louis Vuitton. I'm a Louis Vuitton freak.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God, man. I love it, you know.
My wife has got everything. I have like, what she gets it for me. You know? But I have like the backpack and like the belt and like but I wear these shoes all the time. Like, I mean, I wear them all the time, and they're like you can't fuck these up. They're built amazing. Yeah, and I'm really rough on shoes.
Those are cool, man.
Yeah. I like the brakes are bad on the car. I stop them with my feet and stuff. I'm rough with shoes.
Flintstone style.
Yeah, Flintstone style.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Would you be Barney or Fred?
I'd probably be Mr. Slate.
Oh, the boss. Oh, the boss of the Creatures. Yeah. You fucking played out of tune.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Just listen to your new solo record. Pretty cool. There's some interesting stuff on this thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's always that thing of an instrumental record. There are a couple singing tracks on it, but you know, I was listening to it. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 55, and you can really look at the timestamps of guitar, how it got really radical. So you got Hendrix,
right,
and then here comes Eddie, and then of course a spin of Randy Rhoads,
right,
and then Yngwie,
yep,
and then after that, it's kind of, I mean, you had versions of Yngwie,
the Steve Vais,
yeah,
you got the Joe Satriani,
right,
yeah,
but Yngwie was the last real radical. You know, where it was like the sweep picking, like, holy shit, is that real? You know?
I think it was. There's always, to me, there's always epiphanies. There's always life changers. And, you know, just like you said, it started like people that really changed the game.
Right. Household names to people that aren't even into guitar.
Right.
You
like
know?
The Hendrix, like when Hendrix came out, you hear it and you're like, oh my God, this is like from another planet. Then, you know, here comes Eddie. Oh, my God, this is like from another planet, and Yngwie and things like that. But there's always been, even before Hendrix, there was like Chet Atkins or Merle Travis, where they totally changed the game and people like freaked out. And that's what I really, really like when there's people that, I mean, and it's an anomaly for something like that to happen because, you know, it comes around every decade or two where someone really changes the game.
Yeah, yeah. And it is funny, too, because we don't, you know the household names of guys that were in the 50s. Eddie even said there's guys doing hammer-ons. Mm-hmm. I recently saw a video of that dude from Hee Haw just fucking burning
Roy
it.
Clark.
Oh, dude.
Roy Clark is one of my biggest influences.
He was burning it up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what made me play Telecasters was Hee Haw, because I saw I would always watch Hee Haw with my family and stuff like that, and I wanted to play electric guitar, and I saw them playing Telecasters.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I thought it was the only electric guitar. I thought that was just the only style it came in. So I was like, I want to play electric guitar. And I didn't even know there were any other designs. I was so young. And it was so glued in my head, and that's why I play like how I play, because of Roy Clark and Buck Owens, and everybody was on the show.
Yeah.
But there was a point, 1976, it was the banjo champion, and he was on Hee Haw. His name was Jimmy Henley.
Yeah.
And I remember he was going crazy and playing banjo, and I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. And that was the moment that I said I want to be a guitar player. Because I knew I didn't want to play banjo.
Yeah, right.
You know, you don't get as many girls playing banjo.
No, I don't know any banjo players getting chicks.
No. What's your husband do? Oh, he plays banjo. But that's what, you know, Hee Haw was what made me really want to play guitar.
And it's funny because the Tele is the hardest guitar to play because it'll expose the shit out of you with those single coils. It's not like it's not like a humbucker where you can get away with some mistakes and stuff,
or even the cutaway. You know, it's they call it the plank. It is a very non-forgiving guitar. It's a working man's guitar. You know, it was our first solid body electric guitar, and it is not easy to play, but I love it. It's you know, it's like my whoopee. I get to still carry my whoopee around everywhere, and it makes me comfortable.
Well, last time you were on the show, we were talking about how much I love Blackguard Esquires, and you have a collection of crazy ones, different Teles over the years, but the Blackguard Esquire and the P90 Les Paul Special, the 2 version, those guitars are the blue-collar machines, and they're bulletproof, too. You know, a Tele, you could drop it and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You never see a broke headstock on a Tele.
I don't think I've ever seen a broken headstock on a Tele.
Isn't that right? That's crazy.
It's like seeing a unicorn or something.
It really is. I've never seen it.
I've never seen a unicorn.
No. Yeah.
I've never seen a broken headstock on a telly.
Isn't that wild?
I think I'd see a unicorn first.
Yeah. Like I was talking to Cantrell, and he goes, all my Les Pauls, the headstocks have been broken except this one over here.
Right.
Like all of them, you know?
Yeah. Nicky gave me his Warlock from 81.
Oh, the bass,
Yeah, of course it has a broken headstock.
Of course. Yeah.
Like, what are you giving me this broken bass for? It's broken. What am I supposed to do with this?
You ever see Glenn Campbell burn it up?
Of course.
Unbelievable.
I love Glenn. Here's a little inside scoop. Maybe I'm not supposed to say it, but I'm going to say it. They wanted me. Glenn Campbell was making a record.
Right.
And he passed during this record, and they were like, oh, well, we want you to finish it. And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
You know, just I got a pick and I got a guitar. Just let me know and stuff. So hopefully that will come to fruition because I love Glenn Campbell more than anything. He's a monster.
He was a monster player.
Yeah.
It is wild. Like, I always laugh at people that are just the one-dimensional, oh, listen to metal. And
Right.
you're like, you need to branch out and find out where all this stuff comes from. And when
Yeah.
you do, eventually you're like, holy shit, there's so many amazing musicians on this planet. Just the Tennessee and Nashville guys and,
yeah.
and all the Bakersfield sound, all these dudes, Merle Haggard, all these guys burned it up on their guitar.
Yeah, you give these guys a guitar with a clean sound.
Yeah.
And a pick, and that's it.
Fender Bassman and a Telly, and they're like, some of those guys playing with the finger picks and everything and just killing it.
Yeah, I did a song on the new record, Crazy Little Thing Called Love.
Oh, yeah, the
cover
Queen
of it,
song.
which is that style with doing the bass part and the melody line at the same time. It's like, the Merle Travis, the Chet Atkins style. Because that song was it was written like a tribute to Elvis, their influence of Elvis. And I kind of did it that early 50s Elvis sound, you know, like with playing the same parts, going at the same time. And it's really cool. I'm really proud of that one.
It sounds great.
Yeah. And then another of that style is How High the Moon,
right.
Les Paul, Mary Ford. And it sounds like it could have been from the 50s, and we kind of recorded it that way. But that one, it was kind of a tribute to Les Paul. I had this amazing... It was one of the greatest moments of my life. I was in New York, and we were doing the Ozfest, and I was staying in the city, and Nick Bocott, who you probably know, said, hey, come to the Meridian. Les Paul is playing, and Jim Marshall is going to be there.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, yeah, okay.
Two massive legends.
Yes. And, I was really sad at this point because my father just died, and I was like really kind of bummed out. But I went anyways, and I walk in there and I travel, I take my guitar everywhere and walk in and I meet Les and I meet Jim and all that stuff, and we take pictures. Not thinking anything of it. I sit down, this beautiful club, and Les starts playing. And he invites people up, and he said, oh, okay, and do you know, blah, blah, blah. And they start playing it on piano, and he always cuts them, like, oh, keep practicing, kid. And the guy was amazing. So then he goes, well, bring up the bass player, and just these people out of the crowd,
Wow.
Oh, let's play this and this and this. And the guy's amazing. He's like, just keep practicing. You'll get there one day. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is such a fun night, clapping, and this is what I needed. And he goes, we got a strange-looking fella in the crowd tonight. And I'm like, oh, no,
Yeah.
It can't be me.
Yeah.
No eyebrows, big fur coat, mess. His name's John 5. We're going to bring him up. And I don't know any of these songs.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? How about Highway to Hell, I don't know.
Yeah.
So my knees are knocking, because whenever I go and do something, I always make sure that I'm prepared.
Right.
Because everybody's got a phone. Everyone's going to film. So I go up there.
They got an amp there for you?
They got everything.
Right.
And it's a three-piece. It's like, a stand-up bass, a piano player, and Les. And I go up there, and I grab my guitar, and it's a Telecaster.
Oh, yeah, the insult
like,
right there.
Strike one.
You're the enemy.
And he goes, oh, you got one of those.
Oh, you got one of those.
So I put it on, and he said, what do you want to do, son? And I said, I don't know. I'll just follow you guys.
Yeah.
Freaking out, like sweating, like, And we start, and for something just happened. It was all the stars aligned. It was the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. I just played, and everything was so perfect. And I remember Les, he just stopped playing. He was looking, and like this, and he was looking, and I stopped, and I was like, oh no, here comes the insults.
Yeah.
And I kiss his feet, and I walk off stage.
You kiss his feet?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Of course.
Yeah.
So he comes back. He calls me back.
Yeah.
And he said, son, and I go, oh no, here it comes. He goes, I play with a lot of musicians, and you impress me. And I was like, oh my God. And he goes, I want you to play my Christmas special and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I was like, in tears. It's just all the emotions from my father and all this stuff. And that's why I wanted to do How High the Moon, Les Paul and Mary Ford, just to give, a tribute. And it was like one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me. Unbelievable,
Oh, that's just fucking, it doesn't get any higher than, playing with Les Paul, and then he says you're great.
Yeah,
It's like,
I was
wow.
like freaking out. I thought he was going to just be like, here's the number to my therapist or something like that.
Yeah, come back when you got a real guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
I was listening to it, and what I like about this record, it does have a bunch of different styles and flavors, but it is all you. I love the For I Have Sinned, which is amazing because I come from the Bay Area, land of the thrash.
Right.
And there's some incredible right hand in there that's pretty goddamn impressive, because we all hold Hetfield as the king of the right hand.
Right.
No one touches him. But man, I was listening to this. Him and Gary Holt. I think they're both, Gary Holt has a different flavor that's cool, that bouncy kind of,
Yeah, it's great.
But shit, man, that thing was really smoking, and it had this great thrash flavor in there.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I got it. I got it from the early Metallica. And what I did with that is I didn't have a lot of distortion on it. It kind of had like the AC/DC sound.
Right.
Not a lot of gain and stuff, because you can really hear the percussiveness of the pick. But yeah, that was the whole, thought of For I Have Sinned, just that Bay Area thrash,
Yeah.
And I really, I love it. I love that stuff. I was lucky enough, just like you, to see these bands early on. I saw how early did you see Metallica?
Oh, from the first year of them moving to San Francisco.
Oh wow!
But to me, the mighty Metallica, of course, is the Master of Puppets era tour where like say they're opening for Ozzy, that kind of stuff.
That's when I saw them.
Yeah, but the real mind boggler to me is the Justice tour. Because by then you have the most mightiest Hetfield. And if you listen to the bouncing on Battery, I don't even know how the fuck... Like, I got goosebumps because I don't know how the fuck he does that, man.
Yeah.
Battery, that stuff is... it's drums with a pick.
Yeah.
That's how fucking crazy is... And
you know what I think that is? I think... And I could be wrong. People could just start saying, "Oh no, you're nuts," and blah blah blah. But I think something like that is someone that's a natural.
Right.
So he can do that. I bet you, which I don't know for a fact, but I bet you he put on a guitar and he started doing something like that, and it came pretty easy to him.
Right.
It's just something that he is a natural at. Just like Michael Jordan is a natural at basketball,
right? Or
so on and so forth. It's just something like that he can do. There's a guitar player from Ministry who is passed on now, but his right hand was so fast. It was like a drill.
Wow.
And it was just, I saw an interview with him, and he said he just picked up a guitar and he could just do that. And it was and that's what I'm saying. It's like something that's inside that person that could just do that.
Right.
It's very interesting. But I saw the Master of Puppets tour.
Great.
And I was on a number of the and Justice for All shows, because I would just follow them around. They would give me odd jobs and stuff like that. I was friends with all those guys at that time, and it was.
You were just out rolling on it, like working. Yeah. I had friends that worked on it too. I saw 5 of those, you know. And then once we get to the Black Album, I'm just in the Snake Pit every night.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
My mom was in the Snake Pit.
Yeah.
You know, she went in the Snake Pit. That shit, because I think the guy's name was Adam Dubin or something. He was Jason's tech. Mm-hmm. He would just hook us up, man. Yeah. Just the best all the time. I love it. And all those that crunch of the early Mesa Boogie, the triple rectifiers and shit, that whole Metallica, EMG 81 pickup, that combo was just the flavor of that. I wish they would get back to that, because everybody uses those computer amps now.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah, I got to have shit coming off the stage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I gotta have that. I gotta have that. Even when I'm playing live and I have monitors coming at me, I don't even like that. So I put a cabinet in back of my head, so I can hear it coming from the cabinet, not just the monitors.
I love that.
I love that
air
too.
moving.
Yeah, you gotta have air moving. It's just natural.
Yeah.
It's important. Did you ever meet Cliff or anything like that?
Yeah, I met Cliff a few times. They would hang at the Stone. Sure. That was our fort.
Stone Pony, is it?
No, the Stone in San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
410 Broadway.
Yeah. I've been there many times. Yeah.
Or 412 Broadway, I think it is. Yeah. The Stone.
Not there anymore.
No, but it was the fort, and then across the street was the Mabuhay, of course. But those guys would go to shows all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like you go to Slayer and they're there.
Yeah.
And I used to tell this story where I remember one night it was Hetfield and Jim Martin, and they were for some reason they just started fake slow motion fighting, and there was a band playing, but all of a sudden everybody was looking at them like, what are those guys doing? So it was like, like it was in slow motion. Then Jim Martin would fall back onto a table all slow. And they were doing this for like 10 minutes. That's like one of my great early memories of these guys.
That's hilarious.
And they were drinking Jaeger. They were like, I've told it a million times, they were like world travelers. So they were only a couple years older than me, but they were like men.
Yeah.
They'd been to battle.
Right.
Yeah.
They'd
had shoes and piss bottles thrown at them at Donington.
Yeah.
And mud.
Yeah.
They'd been to battle.
It's interesting. I got a chance to meet Cliff, and he was young.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
He was young, dude, but like you look at him as like such a experienced man.
Yeah, like a father figure, or even in that band.
Yeah, that is like...
He's like the Malcolm of that band.
He was like Yoda.
Yeah, totally.
You're like, whoa, he knew all the answers. He knew everything, you know? It was great, and he was so nice.
Yeah.
He was just a cool dude,
Yeah. Hetfield was like so shy, so he was just weird and mean.
Yeah.
I told a story where I met him one time, and I said, hey, man, he was playing at the Stone, and when he was done, I was like, God, that gig was great tonight, man. And he just looked at me and goes, move on. And I was not insulted at all. I loved it. It was the funniest thing ever to me. Move on.
That's great. You're talking about the Paul Stanley song, Move On? Solo album?
Yeah. You guys didn't play Move On tonight. I'll never forget it, though. He just looked right at me. He's like, and like that kind of snarl, move on.
That's great.
Oh, it was so fucking funny.
Oh,
but awesome. He was just a shy weirdo. I get it, It's fucking crazy how your heroes could be totally shy and weird.
Oh, I love that.
I love this song, man. This song was my favorite on the record. This Is How I Do It.
Yeah, it's
got some Chili Peppers vibe.
Yeah.
It's got, there's some cool wah in there.
Yeah.
And what a fucking groove on this thing, man.
Yeah, it's all like slap guitar, so I do it all like with the slap, and then there's a little Jamiroquai in there. There's like jazz guitar in there. that one is a lot of fun. And how I recorded this whole record, like, because, you know, I had nothing to do in lockdown. You know, you can only clean your house so much, you know. So I was listening to 40s Junction on Sirius XM. Have you ever, like, listened to 40s Junction? It's this radio station. It's all 40s music.
Oh, wow. No, I'm 70s. I got the 60s.
Right. So it's called 40s Junction. And if you are, like, stuck in traffic or something, put it on. Because it's amazing. You hear this music, and it's just, first of all, it's very complex, and all the vocals are like 3-part harmony through the whole thing, you know? And I'm listening to it go, wow, this is really great. And not only is this really great, but it was recorded all live. These were all live recordings.
Yeah,
it
like
wasn't
Lawrence Welk style, man.
Yeah, it wasn't like, hey, bring in the vocals now.
No.
It was, everybody was in one room, and I thought, okay, well, that's how I want to do this record. I want to go in and start from the beginning and end. So I just practiced, like, this is how I do it. Like, I practiced for like a week until I had it so down pat. And I went into the studio and I would play it. And if I messed up, I would start all over again.
Yeah.
Start from the top. Just because I had so much time on my hands.
Totally.
And I wanted to get that mentality of those musicians back then.
Yeah, no punching.
So, because I hear these like great recordings, and sometimes I'll hear a little mistake on the radio.
And those are cool.
These 40s songs, you know, or if someone's a little out of tune vocally, they just kept it because they're not going to start all over again. It was probably take 16 or something like that. And that's how I did this whole record, just out of like to see if I could, and out of
a good challenge.
A challenge in quarantine and just something to do, you know?
Yeah, and nobody's doing that, you know, even the greatest punch-in stuff, because you get rocking and you got something that's about 98% great. You just go, let's just fix this one part, because that 98% great might not ever come again. It was so organic and cool. So it's dangerous almost to ditch something that might have been great on track, you know, their third take.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's scary.
And I don't have a studio at home, because it would have been really easy if I had a studio at home. But I had to physically go to a studio and try this. But sometimes I wasn't ready.
Right.
Sometimes I was doing it and it just didn't feel right. I didn't have the conviction. So I went home and I worked some more and changed some stuff around because I didn't want to punch in.
Yeah.
And I went and did a small little tour in the summer of playing some of the songs, the 3 of the songs from the record. And it sounded, I was so happy because, you know, everybody has a phone. And I say, hey, if you have a phone, you can record. I promote it.
Yeah.
And it sounded just like the record, and I was so happy about that.
Wow.
Because that's how I wanted it to be, you know? Just I wanted it to be, and nothing was improv. It was all planned out. Yeah. So it was fun. Barry Pointer, he's got a studio in North Hollywood, and it's just, this guy Barry Pointer is, I mean, I'm so lucky I fell upon this guy, because I was doing this record. It was the Helter Skelter version with Manson and Zombie.
Right.
And it was his studio, and I was like, oh, wow, you know, hey, nice to meet you. And we kind of just became friends, and he's an absolute wonderful producer. I mean, I couldn't be, you know, things happen like this. You always got to look for signs. You know, there's always signs in life, and you have to, you know, sometimes go after those signs. And
yeah, you can't ignore them, man. They're there for a reason.
Right, they're there for a reason.
It's like when the material drops from the sky. If you don't stop and take notes or record it on your phone or anything, it's just gone.
Exactly.
It's gone. And they were sending it to you for a reason.
Exactly.
You know, the arts gods.
Yeah, I really look at that and think that really happens.
It does.
You know?
100%. 100%.
And like also that, did you ever see The Secret?
The Secret?
Yeah.
The book? The movie of the book?
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. But it's so interesting. I don't know, I think I was like, you know, in bed, you know, just surfing through Netflix and stuff like that. And it was a secret, and it was all these things. And I was like, oh, the answers and blah, blah, blah. And if you want to do this. And it was kind of like a motivational thing. But I was like, you know what? I'll try it.
Yeah.
You know, let me try this.
Yeah, yeah.
So I focused on this broadcaster, because, broadcasters are pretty hard to find, original and really nice shape.
Of course.
And I focused on this broadcaster, and I was like, I'm going to try this. And I would look at it, think about it like once a day, and think about it and think about it. And, a year went by. I still did it. And sure enough, I got a chance to get one of the nicest broadcasters in the world.
Whoa.
And I did it, and I got it.
Wow.
And it worked.
Yeah.
If you think about something and you focus on it, I think that really works.
I do too.
It's energy,
Yeah, I mean, I started comedy 12 years ago, 44 years old. And everybody's like, dude, you're too old. Nobody 44 starts comedy. But it's all I thought about and focused on and engulfed myself in. And here I am 12 years later doing it for a living.
That's amazing.
I know.
Congratulations.
And it's just because it's all, first of all, I got lucky I didn't have kids or a wife or anything. So I could just focus on the goal of how can I get funny?
Yeah.
And, it's right. I did a pilot that Fred Durst and I kind of and Wes Borland kind of spoofed on kind of Scientology meets The Secret meets Christianity. It was a religion we made up.
Okay.
It was a pilot. And it's funny because here we are doing this pilot on this spoof thing, and we're doing a pilot because of things we thought about, which is what a lot of these are these things are originated from.
Sure.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Higher living, higher knowledge, all that stuff. And here we were doing a pilot on it, spoofing on it. Yeah.
It's great. I never really heard of anybody saying, "Oh, he's old. He's not funny."
Yeah. Well, you
don't really hear that. If someone's funny, they're funny.
Well, you're only dated by your material.
Saltwater taffy or pinochle.
Yeah, that kind of shit, Yeah. And then they're like, oh, what the fuck is this guy? But if you're current and in the mix,
Pinochle.
You or I, we're around all different, types of situations, rock and roll, comedy, movies. If you're out living a life, you're going to be current with your material. But there is ageism in comedy, big time, which I didn't know when I started.
I really think because people are naturally funny, and I think one of the funniest people I've ever heard, I should say, because I didn't meet him, is Don Rickles.
Oh, he's fucking crazy good.
Just little stories, and this story that, because I would like to watch, not his stand-up, but I would like to watch his interviews because he's just naturally funny in interviews. And there was this one story that he was in Las Vegas, and this was I don't know, early 60s or something, and, he was very close with Frank Sinatra. So he's at this restaurant in Vegas, and he's with this girl, and he's trying to impress this girl, first date, and he's takes her to this nice restaurant, he's like, hey, and blah, 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 and Frank Sinatra walks in. And he walks by the table, and she's like, oh my God, there's Frank Sinatra. This was when he was a god.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, Frank Sinatra. And he's like, oh yeah, that's, Frank Sinatra. And they start talking. She goes to the bathroom, and he runs over to Frank. And he said, Frank, you got to come up to the table and say hello. Got to come up to the table. And it's just like if we saw Nicky or something that.
Right, yeah.
He would
stop on by.
Yeah, he
fucking
would
crown me.
Exactly. He would do that. So he runs back to the table, sits down. She comes back. They're talking. They're having dinner. Here comes Frank. 20 minutes later or something. Hey, Rickles, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Great to see you. And he goes, Frank, can't you see I'm having dinner? Not right now, okay? How genius is that?
It's total.
Hey,
man, Get out of here. I'm on a date.
Hey,
That's
can't
the
you
best.
see I'm eating? I'm on a date. How genius is that?
Oh, that's totally his style.
Like if we did that to Nikki or something,
He'd
it'd be
like, go
genius.
fuck yourself. He would rat you out. You came over and told me to stop by here, you
Yeah,
loser.
sure I did. Sure I did.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, man. That guy was great, man.
Oh my God, he was so funny.
Same with Norm Macdonald. We just lost Norm Macdonald. He's
Yeah.
one of my all-time favorites. But if you watch interviews with him, all the time he's killing. He's just killing it. It's just natural. Like if you watch any Howard Stern or Letterman he's on or any of that, you're just like, this is insane.
It's so. And I think people that are super funny like that are really smart because their brain is just always working.
Jacob Dylan's like that, man. He's so fucking funny. You'll never see it. But when you're close to him, man, he's just fucking hammer.
It's great because, like, okay, let's talk about you and me. We know a lot of musicians, okay? Let's talk about musicians that are hilarious because we know a shit ton of them.
Tons of them, man.
Okay, I really think Nicky's funny.
Yeah.
Nicky's hilarious.
He
dude.
is funny.
He'll have me rolling.
Yeah. Well, that whole thing of we were doing the rules of rock, we were just dying. As I was reading his book, the first 21, you know, he's talking about going to these auditions, and you and I have been there. You get the recycler, and then you show up, and he's like, he goes like, after a while, I'm not unloading the SVT until I look at the guys. You walk in, singer's bald, bass player's fat. I'm out of here. That's just the realities of rock.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these bands were just junkyards of players that couldn't get into bands.
Right.
So they're like, we're fucking better than everyone, you know?
Right.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, there's some funny dudes out there. That's how I started this podcast, dude.
Yeah.
I started it because I played music for 25 years. And then I thought, well, I don't want to interview comedians because Marin was doing that, you know. I'm going to interview my musician friends and then at the end ask them if they ever wanted to be a comedian because you know that old thing, all comedians want to be rock stars all want to be comedians or whatever, you know. And that's how I really started the show.
That's really, I mean, it's so great. But finding someone that's really funny is rare.
Yeah, it is.
It's very rare. You know, like Dave Lee Roth was hilarious.
Right.
Like what he would say he would be so funny because he would get mad and he would say things like, you know, like even when he was upset, he was still funny. Like this, that, you know, I got more hits than the Gambinos, you know, and this and that and the other thing, you know. Like just funny little quirks he would say, you know.
You hung out with Roth a lot. Of course, you did that record. It was so funny. Last time you were on the show, you're like, when we're done with the show, I'll play you some of these songs. This was years ago before they were out on YouTube and stuff. And then you played, I broke out my telly and you played that and then you left because we forgot. Yeah. And then people were like, hey man, what the songs sound like? Right. I go, fuck, I didn't hear him actually. He was playing my telly and then he left. Yeah. It was funny, but I think about this all the time because I spent some time with Roth. I opened a few shows with him, and I've watched and studied Roth my entire life, worshipped Roth, you know, through all of that Van Halen era. And do you feel like this? I like to ask people that know him. I feel like no one knows who David Lee Roth is. We have never seen him talk normal on an interview. My dream is to wrangle him and talk early influences, how he sang, did he warm up, how did you write the lyrics for Fair Warning record? They're totally darker than anything. What is this and that? But it's hard to wrangle because he'll be like, man, when I jump off the bridge, then I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? Look at all the people here tonight. I've never heard an interview or talked to him where he was totally normal. Have you?
Oh, all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, like all the time. And he would tell me, you know, just like you and I are talking. And Gene's the same way. Gene Simmons.
Gene's fantastic.
You know, you get him in that normal talking mode. Right. It's wonderful. And
totally.
You know, Dave and Gene, both super smart guys. But yeah, Dave would, you know, get into these conversations. He would tell me the most incredible stories.
Right.
You know, like unbelievable stories about, this, that, and the other thing, and just normal. And it was wonderful.
That's a dream interview for me. That way.
Yeah.
A Dave that no one's seen.
Yeah, but you don't see or hear of a lot of people that hung out with Dave.
No, not at all.
I was surprised you even said you hung out with Dave a few times.
Well, just because I was opening for a few shows, and then we happened to be sharing a dressing room up at Canocti Harbor, and he came in, he sat down, and he was like rolling a joint, and he was telling me these stories about the early touring and meeting Stevie Wonder and stuff. But it was still like, it was almost kind of like, you had to knock on the door first so he could put it on like, oh, yeah. The smile would come on. You go, look at this right here. I got the Colombian gold. And, but it's never, like Gene. I've talked to Gene quite a bit, and he was just great, solid human. But to be able to talk to Roth, there's so much I want to know that no one knows, especially the Fair Warning record.
Yeah.
Those lyrics, those melodies, that vibe, the artwork, everything about that era.
Darker was tough.
It was tough, dude. It was street lyrics. There was no party lyrics on that fucker.
And he loves things. Listen, he first loves things with a groove. Gotta have a groove.
Of course.
Gotta have a groove. But it's gotta be tough.
Yeah.
It's gotta be tough. And he loves... that's what was so great about Van Halen. All the girls loved him and all the guys loved him because it was tough.
Yeah, totally.
It
was a perfect mix.
Oh my God, like Sinner Swing and Mean Street and Dirty Movies and
Dude, I mean,
So This Is Love Unchained, on that record, it's just great.
I was at those Oakland shows.
Wow.
I got a brand new Oakland scarf
right here.
Right here.
Yeah.
Look at all the people here. I've seen Van Halen so many times, it's mind-boggling. Us
God.
Festival, all 3
You were
nights.
at the Us Festival?
Yeah. They were terrible. I left midway through. They were just terrible.
Dave told me that he was
wasted.
He was on he was in the middle of some jungle.
That's right. He was on the Jungle Studs, adventure. They got him on some satellite phone back then.
Yeah, they had to get a hold of him or something because it was like they were paying him like, I don't know, something like $1 million. Yeah. So they found him and he went back and did that. It's incredible. And he does those adventures. He really goes on these adventures. I remember he was like, hey, we're going to go kayaking.
Yeah.
At 6 a.m. I'm like, no. We're not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be in a kayak with you,
Yeah.
Or he was flying at some point.
He was helicopter.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, not me.
Yeah. My buddy was renting him an apartment in New York, Dove Davidoff, who was a landlord. And Dave knocked on the door one day and said, I got my helicopter's pilot license. I'm going to take you up, man. And he's like, all right. And then they went up, and then he's like, I don't even know I should be doing this. It was like early on, brand new helicopter. He's flying around the city.
Yeah,
Let's look at the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, because I don't even like to drive with him.
Yeah, all right. Right. But there's a big mystery of Dave there, too. What's his car collection like? Does he still have that motorcycle from Panama?
He does. He has the motorcycle from Panama, and he has the car, the red convertible.
Yeah. Wow.
He still has it.
I love all that shit, Dave's nuts. Look at him. I was born in Yosemite. There he is on the side of Half Dome or whatever, on the Just Like Paradise video. Then he becomes the EMT. Then he's the helicopter pilot. Then he went to Japan, got full bodysuit by the Styx. Learns to be a ninja, learns Japanese. For one section of his life, he was training those cattle dogs. That's just so much shit to him.
Russell.
Yeah.
Is the dog's name. And it's funny, when we were recording in the studio and my tech was there, and he said, he was talking about being an EMT.
Yeah.
And he goes, you know how to pull someone out of a fire? And I was like, no, how do you do that? And he goes, I'll show you. And he brought us these medical kits. And he gave me one. He gave some other people.
Ray.
And it's these kits. And he took the strap out and he goes, lay down to my guitar tech. And my guitar tech's like, okay. And he puts these straps and he's pulling my tech around the studio floor.
Yeah.
You know, like going, see how easy it is? See how easy it is? I can drag you around, and it's not even hard, because he knew how to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Then the next day, my tech comes to the studio, lifts his shirt up, and he's all bruised. And I just thought that was so great. But he loved it. He was like, look at this. This is awesome.
I got Diamond Dave bruises.
Yeah. But, yeah, he is, and he's retiring. But
You think so?
I think so. But he's done so much.
I know.
He's given us
that thing was
so
pretty dark,
much.
right? If you read between the lines, it was like, whoa, does this guy got cancer? Is he done? Is he sick? It was so mysterious. Like, objects in the mirror may be me, Eddie Van Halen. I can't believe the Marlboro Man didn't take me first and all this shit. It was dark.
I'll never forget my whole life, which I know nothing. I don't know, but I just know that he gave us so many great albums, so many great songs, so many great visuals and videos.
He is rock, dude.
Yeah, he's done enough, and if he wants to retire, I applaud him.
Yeah, same here. If he really does it, because then the flyer came out. This is it, or is it really, or whatever the flyer said. I was like, uh-oh.
I'll never forget my whole life. This is something that is just burned in my brain, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but I was at Dave's house, and, we're talking, and this is when Eddie was, ill.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. Nobody really knew because they kept it so quiet.
Of course.
And I think this is before, anyone really knew how bad the cancer was.
Right.
And we were talking, and he pointed to his heart, and he goes, yeah, the Marlboro Man got Eddie. And I'll never forget talking about that. And, dude, I teared up.
Yeah,
I teared up, and I had to put sunglasses on. I was just like, oh, my God. And it was just heartbreaking. And then, he passed on. And
it was
I was
brutal,
like,
man.
oh, it killed me. Because it's like, Eddie Van Halen's not supposed to go anywhere.
No,
he's Eddie Van
man.
Halen.
Yeah,
he's supposed to always be here.
I'm doing a bit right now where I say, if you haven't done anything by the time you're 44 with your life, if you're just playing video games, we should be able to take your life. And then we give it to the legends that are sick. Like, hey, here's 10 more years.
Yeah.
Thank you. You just transfer the years onto this person, the genius that we need around, the artist.
And there is genius walking this earth, like Steve Jobs. Couldn't have saved Steve Jobs? Yeah. You're saying we couldn't have saved Steve Jobs?
Yeah, like the guy was a billionaire. There's no fucking, where's the stem cell?
But he's a genius. Look what he gave us Tower Records inside this.
I know. Our phone is our life.
It's, and then, he can't save Eddie Van Halen? Is Eddie Van Halen?
Can't believe it, man.
These are the real genius.
What do you think about this? And then we'll get back to your record. But I think the card that Roth should play, and this is just me, is one last Big Daddy with Billy, Steve Vai, and Greg Bissonette. The eat 'em and smile, and then get out. One big because that could be arenas.
Oh, it could be arenas, but I don't know if he wants to do that.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if he could sing that stuff. It wasn't wrote in his key, it's pretty high.
He could sing it. We've played some songs he can sing that stuff.
Yeah.
He really can. He can sing it. But I don't think he just wants to do it. I think he does what he wants to do. That's for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a wild man. So the record comes out on the 29th.
29th, which is coming up, and
I didn't get to see the album cover. What's on the album cover? Because you always got cool shit.
The album cover is really cool. I'm super, super proud of it. It is done. I was trying to figure out what to do for the album cover because it's always just something really, really cool and exciting and stuff like that. I'll try to pull it up, but was so well done. It was done by this artist, and he just nails it. I'll pull it up for you at the end of the show. But
Yeah, cool.
it is, I mean, it's fucking crazy how great this artist is and doing this.
Where'd you find him? Instagram?
You know, someone got a hold of me and said, hey, this guy does, you know, artwork for this person and that person, and you should check him out. He's really incredible. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was blown away, and I said, hey, dude, I would love for you to do something. He was into it and knocked it out. It was, but the album's called Sinner, and there's these symbols around my head, and it's like, you see these symbols, kind of like the Led Zeppelin symbols. But and I said, what is this? And he said, it's witches writing, this witches alphabet that spells out John 5.
Wow.
And I just thought that was so cool. And I don't take credit for, I give credit where credit's due.
Of course.
You know, I always have. And I just thought, God, that's so cool, because people will see these symbols and think they're just decoration, but it really spells out John 5, and it says sinner at the bottom. It's really, really great. And but I'll show you the artwork after. It's really cool. So it comes out the 29th, and the first single is Que Pasa, which is on YouTube.
With Dave Mustaine.
With Dave Mustaine.
Yeah.
And
now, you were trying to get Axl to do that, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about, like, Axl, and I was like, oh, that'd be really cool. And I was on this Megadeth kick.
Oh, yeah. Peace Sells. What a masterpiece.
Oh, my God. And I was listening, and I was like, oh, shit, you know, the record company said, who do you want to have on here? And I said, Dave Mustaine.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, you know, do you know? And I said, I know his assistant, and I'm going to send the track. And send him the track, and he really liked it. And I was like, boom. And he nailed it. Dude, it's so Mustaine.
Oh, it's great.
It's so Mustaine. And
it's kind of that, hello, you.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah. It's just, Que Pasa, people, Que Pasa. And it's so good, you know. So I'm honored to have him on there. And then I have Peter Criss on there, too.
Yeah, yeah.
Playing Georgia on My Mind. And
he played the drums?
He played drums.
So
and,
cool.
Dude,
How'd that happen? Did you go out there, or did you send him the tracks?
I had my producer go out there
Yeah.
and put a couple mics, just like the 40s style, and he sat down, because he plays like this his whole life. He loves Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich and everybody like that. So he sat down there, played it 2 times.
Whoa.
I mean, it's perfect. There's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when someone's just natural at something, he's just natural at that. And what's really great about that song is he's talking about me playing Georgia at the beginning of it.
I love that. I love that.
And it's
yeah,
just
play
so,
something outside the bar.
Yeah. And it's just something so pure and real. And I asked him, hey, do you mind if we use this, you know?
Yeah.
And there's him talking for like 15 minutes, but we just grabbed that little piece.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to have something like that, you know. So it's.
Did you talk to him about the Kiss last date?
I talked to him about I talk to Peter all the time.
Yeah, you do?
Oh, like every other day.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. I'm really close with Peter and Ace and all those guys, you know. Yeah. I talk to him all the time, and it's coming.
I know it's coming.
So I always thought, okay, so they started in 73.
Right.
And I always thought, do the last show when you did your first show or something like that, 50 years.
Right.
Boom. But what do I know? I'm just talking as a fan. But I just think, what a great way to wrap it up. Maybe, you know, well, they started early and it was cold, but I was thinking maybe a Central Park.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a bunch of nights at Madison Square Garden.
Well, Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, Yankee Stadium.
I probably thought was what might go down. They need something that's massive.
Yeah, they need something that's massive.
Yeah, because every fan is going to, I mean, I'm going.
Everybody would go.
Fuck yeah.
You know, I think everybody would go and give, you know, just like, what a career. I mean, we talk about Van Halen, we talk about all these bands, but Kiss did something so different. I mean, it was Star Wars and Kiss.
And Evel Knievel.
and Evel Knievel. It was all that. It was like so gigantic.
Oh.
But think about, they've always been gigantic.
Yeah.
Even in the like Asylum, Animalized, Crazy Nights, they were always still playing arenas.
Yeah, they were. They did that one club run on Revenge just for press. We had them at
they
the
did
Stone.
a club tour for press, but they were always playing arenas.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, that's pretty incredible.
I was kind of stunned when I had Paul on the show and did some deep research because I first saw him in '79 on Dynasty at the Cow Palace.
Dude, I'm dying. That's great.
Fucking love it. It was
damn.
the gate, Cedric Bixler from At the Drive-In straight up coined it 8 years ago on my podcast. Kiss is the gateway drug to rock and roll. It's either Kiss or Zeppelin, depending on the year you were born.
Right.
So most people sit out, and then the oldies are always the Beatles.
Right.
So I have the three waves: the older guys, the Carmine Pieces, the Phil Rudds and stuff. They're like
the Kisses. They love the Beatles.
They love the Beatles. And then you get the dudes that are kind of right after that, and it's always like Zeppelin, man.
Yeah. Right.
And then right in my age group, every one of them Kiss.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone on that fucking couch said Kiss.
Yeah.
And, I saw them, and it was just everything
Wow,
about
79 you saw.
dude, the boxes coming up from underground, the whole thing is just perfect. And then you got the solo records, so they're each doing a song from the solo record.
Yeah, and I'll show you this really quick while we're talking. You saw this at the Cow Palace.
Yeah.
And this is his jumpsuit and two of his tails.
Wow, yeah. There it is. Wow, man.
From 79, yeah.
Yeah, 79. But my point was, that's so cool.
Isn't that cool?
When I was doing research, I had no idea, because I Was Made for Loving You was a massive fucking song.
Huge.
Massive. And Paul, on his book and on the interview, said, oh yeah, a lot of the arenas were canceled and half full. I was like, how is that even possible? And he said, well, we lost all the adult fans. That part in his book where he said he looks out of the hotel and he sees nothing but moms with kids. And he goes, we're done. We're done, which is crazy. In 79, he thought they were done, you know?
Right.
And then when I saw the Creatures tour, it was fairly, Motley was on it, and it was fairly full, but it was the San Francisco Civic, a lot smaller venue,
I always thought it was the Creatures tour that was, the half full thing. But like in big cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco,
of course,
New York,
that's always sold out.
But like, in Nebraska on a Tuesday night, they're
but like San Diego was canceled.
Yeah.
These like cities, and you're like, whoa.
I know, and what a phenomenal record, Creatures
come
of the
on,
Night.
dude.
It's so good. I mean, listen, every record. I even love The Elder. I mean, The Elder.
Oh no, I love The Elder now.
It's great.
When I was a kid, I hated it.
So well done.
And now I love it. The Fridays, when they're on Fridays, and that's their only live kind of The Elder era with the crazy short hair. Ace is rad looking.
I mean, I think if The Elder was like Creatures or like, I think it wouldn't be as special, but The Elder is so different, and that's what makes it cool to me.
I love it.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Come on.
Yeah.
A dog's bite.
Yeah.
A dog. I fucking love it. And I love the stories behind it. Bob Ezrin out of his mind on cocaine.
Yeah.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing, you know? Ace is like, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
in and
rock
out.
and roll hell. Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's great. But well, yeah, what a great record.
Oh, yeah.
Really great record. I love it. But yeah, Kiss, man, on their last show, I personally, just being a fan, I mean, I think it'd be cool if it was on the anniversary of when they first started. It would be 2023,
right?
73. It's 50 years.
Wow. To Peter and Ace, Ace recently said, yeah, I'm going to be playing that last thing, like it looks
That'd
like.
be great.
I know, right?
Could you imagine?
Peter, I guess, sing Beth or whatever,
I mean, it would be wonderful. Listen, Peter sings all the time.
Yeah.
Peter plays all the time.
He plays?
Oh, yeah, he plays.
But he won't go
everything.
out and play live anymore, right? He retired.
He did shows in the city.
Yeah, right.
And then went to Australia, did shows. But he plays great. I'll play you video after. He's playing the live solo.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude, he plays and he sings awesome. There's a I'll play you some stuff after. You'll freak out. You'll freak out.
All right.
Yeah.
So good to see you, dude.
Yeah, great to see you as well. And your place smells wonderful.
Thank you, man. It's the old hippie man's incense that me and Mark Maron, we got a podcast called Dark Fonzie together. And we did an episode. All the episodes are just natural. We don't have any bullet points. But I walked into his studio one day. He's got a studio. And I was like, God damn, this place smells amazing. He goes, yeah, man, I got some incense from some old hippie out in Albuquerque. I go, it's not burning. And he goes, I know, it lasts for a few days. It's amazing, right? I go, I got to have this because I'm a scent guy.
Yeah, me too. I like it.
The Palo Santos, but I can't stand keep lighting it, you know? Yeah. But I love that. But this has become I'm never not going to have this till the day. At my funeral, I want that burning.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to like be cremated with like those ashes, with the incense ashes too.
Fucking great, right? Okay, you got some shows coming up?
We're doing a show with Metallica like November.
Oh fuck, where at?
Where is it? In Florida.
Oh shit.
Yeah, November. I think it's November 12th. Yeah. And it's like Louder Than Life, and we go on before Metallica, so it's gonna be fun.
They're my favorite.
Yeah, come on down.
They're my favorite, man.
Yeah.
I had Kirk on. I've known him for 35 years.
Yeah, he's the greatest.
40 years or whatever.
He's the greatest, dude.
Yeah,
I love him.
I love that guy.
I love that guy too.
He is a fucking flawless burner. Plays the solos exact.
I love him.
He loves life. He's out living it all the time, wearing cool outfits, great guitars.
He's a great human. He's just a great human.
He is a great human, man. I love him.
Yeah.
I got to see your broadcaster one day. Can I come see it?
Yeah, sure. Great.
So, John 5 and the Creatures out October 29th. It is called Sinner. It's fucking great record. It is actually, I really liked it a lot, man.
Thank you.
And speaking of groove, man, there was the Euphoria is a groover, boy.
Yeah,
holy
with
shit.
Carla Harvey on there.
So
Butcher Babies.
So great, man.
Here comes my ride.
Yeah. Gertie. Look at my dog. Just out. Sirens don't phase her. And come see some comedy, dude.
Yeah, I'd love to see some comedy.
Hell yeah, man. And all right. Well, shit. Great seeing you.
Thank you, man.
I'm glad we got to do this again.
Absolutely.
And last time I saw you was with Corey, and we were doing some AC/DC.
That's right.
Yeah, it's fucking fun.
Nobody does AC/DC like you.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and my iTunes, and leave a review. Candles lit.